Hi guys, okay. I think y'all couldn't hear me. Can you hear me now? Is my sound coming? Can you like give me a thumbs up if my sound is coming? Is it working? Send me a thumbs up. Is it working? Okay. Sorry guys, I don't think y'all could hear me. There was like a bit of a technical difficulty, but I hope you can hear me now. I'm just waiting for James to connect.
Hey,
Hi James, hi.
how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. It's very hot here today.
It's really hot here too.
Yeah.
I had like a bit of a problem. I was like talking for like 5 minutes and no one could hear me, and I didn't realize that, and I just went on talking.
I
And
know.
then someone was like,
I was listening and then it went and I thought it was my phone.
yeah, I was like, is it just some people's phone? But then everyone was saying it, and then I freaked out. I was like, oh my god, this is like my first interview. I don't want to mess up. And then I just had like a 5-minute meltdown, but I'm back now.
You're back.
Yes. How have you been? What have you been doing?
Good, thank you. I'll show you my dog. I've been walking. We got a dog a few months ago. And
Oh,
this is
really?
what
Oh,
I'm doing most of
oh
the
my
time.
god, oh my god, look.
Oh, hi, mate. Oh, hi.
They're both just sleeping and they can say hi to each other.
Yeah.
Astro. Okay,
Oh,
he's
yeah,
like
wait.
in some deep sleep.
Darling.
What's his name?
She's called Moochie.
Oh, how cute.
I know. So we've been walking her every day for our daily exercise, and then other than that, I've been doing some songwriting with the other Vamps boys, just on online. Obviously, I've not seen them in a couple of months.
Oh, really?
Yeah. What about you? How have you been sort of keeping busy?
I'm good. I've just been like watching a bunch of films. My dog is like 1.5 years old, and I have another dog who's like 11.
No.
So I've actually not spent any time with them because I've been so busy and I've been out of my house. But now I'm really getting to like spend time with my dog. So I feel like they're the happiest that I'm sitting at home, you know?
Yeah.
Who like wanted to spend time with me the most. But I think I've been watching a lot of like old English films that I haven't seen. Like I've not watched like any of the classic films, so I'm watching those. And I used to read a lot when I was younger, and I completely stopped doing that. So I've gone back to reading books as well.
Oh, good. Yeah, I think that's one of the positives of this, isn't it? We're able to spend time and watch things, and as you say, read things, and it's nice because I never normally read anything. So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. But like, what do you like? What makes you feel the most positive? Like doing what activity?
Oh, I think when the sun's shining here, going out and being in nature really helps me. So I live in London, but I'm lucky that we have a couple of parks nearby. So yeah, just going out and walking the dog. Really, I think that's what helps me sort of keep kind of at one with myself, and you take a step away from being on your phone all the time, and just sort of enjoy what's around you, I guess.
Yeah. So do you think because we're spending so much time at home that we end up using our phone a lot more?
I think so. I don't know about you, but my screen time was going up to about 5 hours a day.
That is nothing compared to me. Mine was like, I don't even want to say it because it's so embarrassing.
Go on, how much?
Like, I feel like everyone's gonna judge me, but like, please don't judge me, guys. Like 8 hours. But I just keep saying, oh, my work is on my phone. I have like a lot of work on my phone, but like I have no work on my phone, so I don't know why. But yeah.
It's hard though, because I think we all want to go on social media because we feel like we're missing out on something, but nothing's really happening at the moment. So I think I realized, I was like, there's no point me going on social media. So what I do now is when we go and walk Moochie the dog, I leave my phone at home, so I don't constantly get in my pocket. I'm like, a bit of disconnect is really good, I think.
Yeah. That's, I mean, we aren't in India. It's like a complete lockdown, so we can't really step out of our houses. But when I start an episode or a film, then I like consciously decide to keep my phone away. So at least in those 2 hours, I don't check my phone. And I really feel like that is a required and it's a necessary break. Like it really refreshes me. And like I keep thinking when I put my phone away that I'm going to come back to like 100 messages and like 10 people are going to call me, but like there's really nothing happening.
Yeah, and I think it's good to not let it take over your life at the moment, because I think, you know, we don't have a complete lockdown like you guys have. Like, we're allowed to go outside, you know, for that one bit of exercise a day. But I think if you're not careful and you're spending 8 hours on your phone a day, you can kind of feel quite negative, I think, because if you're constantly looking, like for me on my Instagram, the things that I follow are dogs, people riding their bikes and cars. And I can't really do any of those. I can't be outside like all the time. And I think if all I'm looking at on my phone is pictures of people doing exercise in the park or walking their dog on the beach, I really want to do that, and I can't. So I think, you know, you have to be careful not to leave social media feeling a bit negative. You know what I mean? Because we can't do it at the moment. So that's why I try and stay. Like, my explore page on Instagram is quite dangerous. So I just try and avoid that at the moment.
Yeah, no, but that's actually such a good thought, that like you should like not be following things on Instagram that kind of put you into a negative mind space. Like, you should only follow things that inspire you or make you feel positive, because it can really clutter your mind when you just are constantly scrolling and seeing things that kind of put you in a bad mind space.
Yeah, absolutely. And sorry, carry on.
So this is my first interview ever. Like, I've never taken an interview. I've always like been interviewed. So I have like a little notebook, and, you know, I'm just going to ask you some like questions. Yeah. Okay. So my first question is, what has your experience been? Like, have you been bullied online or like in real life ever? What has your experience been?
So is there a problem with the audio? Some people have said that it's been echoing or something. Oh.
I mean, I can hear you clearly.
What I might do, I might quickly rejoin, because people are saying that it's whenever I speak.
Don't leave me here. I don't know.
Okay. We'll carry on unless people say it's really bad again. So for me, I guess the first sort of bullying that I had was when I was about 13 years old, and it was when I first started writing songs. And I grew up in a place on the south coast of England that was very, it was very sport related. So everybody played football and rugby. Oh, people are saying my voice is cracking. Oh no!
Oh, do you want to join back? I'll like entertain.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'll quickly rejoin. One sec.
Okay. Okay. It's just me again, guys. So do y'all have any questions for me, or do y'all want me to ask James anything? I can quickly put it down in my notebook. Hi, Roman Empire 005. Thank you. Hi, Sun says hi. I say hi back. Hello. 1 second. Hi, she who must be not named. Hi, Neeral. Hi. Do you all want me to ask him any specific questions? Hi there, Bhav. Hi guys. Okay, I hope you guys like this, because it's like my first interview ever. I've never asked anyone any questions, so I'm like a little bit nervous, but I'm trying. Okay, wait. I'm gonna try and get James back. Please ask when they will release the song Nakra. Okay. Hi.
Sorry, I'm back. Oh, it still sounds weird, but we'll just try and do it, just in case. I don't know. Okay. So I first started writing songs when I was like 12 or 13. And as I was saying, I went to a school that was all about playing football and rugby. And because I didn't really do either of those things, I kind of stuck out, and people picked on me for doing songs and being really like honest about liking girls and stuff. And it was at a time when, so it was all on a social media platform called Bebo and MySpace, which is like, it was before Twitter and Instagram. So I'm 27, so it was just the social media was kind of like coming about. So there wasn't like, obviously you're doing brilliant things with So Positive. There was nothing like that when I was 12, 13. So when I first started getting messages from people saying that they thought my music was rubbish and that it was basically every day I get sent messages from people that I didn't know saying that I was rubbish, and I didn't really know what to do. It felt really, really lonely, and it was cyberbullying. But as I say, we didn't know what cyberbullying was. So that was the first thing, and then that carried on when I went to another school. I used to have really long hair, and I had like piercings, and I had my nose pierced and stuff. And people picked on me for that, and also being the boy that wrote songs and played guitar. So like, yeah, I've had quite a lot of it. Luckily now I don't have any of it, but yeah, for a few years it was really bad.
Okay. So how do you feel like you handled it at that time? Because obviously you were much younger. So what steps did you take to kind of deal with it?
It was, yeah, as I say, it was a really different time. There was no one there that was saying you are being cyberbullied. It was just one of those things that I think people just said, oh, it's part of life, which obviously it's not. But so for me, I dealt with it by, I guess, like social media, we always say is the root of loads of these problems. But actually, for me, on my social media, I was able to reach out to other musicians, and I would speak to other musicians, and it would give me a confidence in knowing that what I was doing wasn't rubbish, luckily. So I guess having that community around me online really helped. And then also I had friends and family that really liked my music, which is really cool. So I guess, you know, what I wish I'd had though is a community, you know, that like So Positive, where I could be like, oh, okay, I'm not alone. This happens. And it could help me get out of that. But there was nothing like that. So really, I just, you know, I had a few friends, but also when the people that I was at school with that were bullying me, they were a couple years older. So when they left the school, it stopped. So I was so lucky.
Yeah. No, but I like what you said. I think it's really important to be able to share what you're going through, because I feel like when you're going through something like that, you often feel like you're alone and you're like the only person who's facing it. But there's actually so many people out there who are going through the exact same thing as you are. And maybe, you know, I feel like when you have a problem and you let it out and you actually tell someone how you feel, you yourself feel a lot lighter. You know, it can actually make you a lot more positive when you kind of take out that bitterness or that hate from your body. So I think when you're sharing your problems, it just makes you feel much lighter. So I think that's one of the things that we aim to do with So Positive, was just to like create like this positive atmosphere and this community where people could share what they're going through and just not feel like they're alone. I think that's really important. And I feel like people like undermine, you know, telling something to their parents or telling a teacher or a counselor or even a friend. I think it can actually just be anyone, but just sharing with someone can just make you feel lighter in general.
Absolutely. I think, sharing it with other people is so helpful, because you also realise that there are other people that are feeling it too. And I think the horrible thing about bullying is you can feel very lonely and that you are the only one. But actually, you know, speaking to people, as you say, it does kind of lift the load off your shoulders.
Yeah. But do you feel like it's shaped you in the person that you've become today? Do you think it's kind of made you the person that you are?
I think so. I think, you know, we learn a lot about ourselves as we grow and get older. And obviously at the time it was awful, but now I'd like to think, I mean, it took me a long time to get over it. So I was very underconfident for years, and I really struggled to like look at people in the eye when I spoke to them, and I got quite embarrassed about performing my music to people for a while. But I think, you know, now especially, we're both lucky that we have positions of influence where we can help other people now. And I think going through those things has helped me hopefully be a lot more compassionate to people and be more open to listen to people, because I really wish that I had someone that had listened to me back then.
Yeah. But do you think it's like it influenced your music in some way? Do you think that it's not like it's kind of inspired what you've written? Have you written music when you felt like you were being bullied? Did it like inspire you, or was it like a gateway for you to write something?
Yeah, definitely. I think I'm just going to try and put these headphones on because people are saying that the audio is weird. One sec.
Okay.
Is my voice better now to people that are listening?
I mean, for me it was like always okay, but guys, give a thumbs up if you think his audio is better. Okay, someone give a thumbs up, so I feel like
it's better.
Okay.
It's really crackling for me. Don't know. Well, okay. I look so silly now. So yeah, I guess like going through what I did really helped me be more honest and open about how I feel. So definitely oh God, sorry, why is it crackling in my head? So
No, yeah,
as
no, it's good now. Everyone's sending like thumbs up, so it's good.
Oh no. Okay, good. So I guess for me, especially being like a boy growing up, I don't know again what it's like in India, but in the UK, a lot of men, well, boys are kind of told to not really speak about how they feel when they're sort of teenagers, and everyone says, "Oh, it's fine, just get on with it, don't cry." So I think going through what I did and then being able to speak about it really helped me now with my songwriting, because it means that the songs that we write in the Vamps are completely from the heart, and I can be like, no, like actually, if I'm having a rubbish day, I will say that I'm having a rubbish day, and that's fine because we all have rubbish days. And I think, yeah, the whole process of being like bullied made me think, you know what, you can't keep things, as we said before, we can't keep things inside. We have to open up, and that, yeah, definitely has helped me in the songwriting process.
No, but I completely agree with you, because I feel like even when I was in school, I was always clear with what I wanted to do. Like I always knew that, like, I wanted to be an actor and I wanted to focus on the arts. So, be it like singing or dancing, I was always more inclined towards that. And I also had these moments of doubt where I was like, okay, why am I not like everyone else? Like, why do my friends want to be like doctors or business people and I want to do something different? But I think I think like the arts and picking up a hobby or something that you're actually so interested in can actually help you like remove your emotions in such a cathartic way. Do you know what I mean? It can really like just help you emote so much better. Like I don't know if that makes sense, but
yeah, definitely. I think being able to do anything artistic is a really good way of, one, kind of escaping a lot of the things that some people go through, but yeah, to vocalize it in a different way. Because sometimes, like, one thing that I found beneficial was it was quite hard for me to actually speak about struggles that I might have, but then writing songs about it is, as you say, cathartic. It's a way of releasing it in a slightly scarier way. No, sorry, slightly less scary way.
Less scary way. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you feel like? Do you feel like there's this difference between constructive criticism? Like people sometimes can, say something really hurtful and they could be like, oh, but we're just giving you feedback, or we're just, giving you constructive criticism. So what do you feel like the difference between that is, and where do you think people can draw the line?
Yeah, so there's something in the UK called banter, which I don't know if you guys have that.
No, we have it here as well. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And I think there's a fine line, because all the time, I see it on Twitter especially all the time, people say like really horrible things, and then when someone replies, they say, oh, it's just banter.
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem with social media half the time. A lot of people don't realize that things can be taken in loads of different ways. So someone might say, when the Vamps releases like a song, and someone says, oh, I don't like it. You could have a million people say that you like it, but then if that one person says they don't like it, it's just like, I will look at that one person and be like, oh no. And I think that is the problem with social media, is when you read comments, you don't, it's not like you're actually hearing how they're saying it. So sometimes people can be sarcastic, like we could have a conversation now and be like, oh, that's a nice thing. Like, and you're obviously like joking, but have like messing around. But if you read it like that, you don't really see it like that, do you? So I think that's one of the biggest problems. But it is very easy to be drawn. I don't know what it is about us humans, but we always want to get drawn to negativity, don't we? It's almost like all the positive on social media, for me, for years, I would just ignore it and find that one comment and I'll be like, oh. But it's just about readjusting how we view things. And, criticism is something that everybody faces, regardless of what they do, whatever walks of life. And we just have to learn. I think one big learning curve for me was not taking everything on social media as like the most important thing. I focus on remembering that a lot of people on social media don't actually really know who I am. It's the people around me that know, who I am. So I have to value their kind of comments more than someone that's just trying to, you know, make me upset.
Yeah, I feel like they're just like these nameless, faceless people who we've not even met or, you know, interacted with, and they could actually be, I believe in being empathetic towards them as well, because I feel like maybe that there's something happening in their life, or maybe they're going through some hardship and then they come and just spit out that venom on social media. So I agree with, I feel like you should even give love back to those people, because I feel like maybe they're the ones who need it the most. You know, maybe if you give them love back, they could probably change, and, you know, they need that and they're lacking that in their lives. And I also believe, like, I feel like the way I deal with it is just switching off completely and then spending time with people who actually love me and, you know, who are looking out for me, like my family or my friends. I think that's the best way to just, you know, snap back into reality and just have like a face-to-face conversation. I feel like people have gone so much into technology that they forget that there's like a real world out there, which is so much more important.
Absolutely.
So another question is, do you read all the comments that you get?
No, I used to. So as I said before, I'm 27 now. We started the Vamps when we were 17, 18. So when we first started releasing music, I was obsessed with reading everything. I would like go through the pages and I'd be like, oh wow, this is amazing. But I realized that sort of being obsessed with scrolling through comments, as we said before, we're always going to pick out those horrible ones. And it kind of undoes all the good stuff. So now I have to be honest, like I'm thinking about maybe just turning off all my Instagram comments. And it's not because I don't want it to be like, oh, I'm rebelling and whatever. I think I'm trying my best to cut as much negative energy out of my life as possible. Like I want to try and remain positive. And I think social media is brilliant. I mean, look, we're having this conversation through social media. I love it. But I think, you know, it is dangerous to have streams and streams of comments, and especially with what we do, where, you know, whatever both of us do, we're going to get critiqued on it, and loads of people will say it's great, a lot of people will say it's bad, and it's like I don't like thinking that I'm constantly a subject of judgment. And I think, you know, sometimes I just need to take a step away from that. So no, I don't read the comments really anymore, but I have to say that doing things like this, I've done a few things, especially on bullying and mental health. The comments that I've read from that have been like really good. So I think, you know, you have to I think it's good to see what people are saying, but not so much that it controls your life.
Yeah, I think everything should be like balanced and like done in a limit. So I feel like because I feel like a lot of my pictures started coming out when I was younger as well, when I was about like 15 or 16. And that time I was just obsessed with like the comments, and I would see one good comment and I would just like boast about it all day. And then I'd see one bad comment and it would just be the complete opposite. So I feel like you should take everything like, you know, in moderation, and you should read comments if you feel like reading it, but then you should also be okay with what you read. I think you should just not make that the entire focus of your life. Like I completely agree with what you're saying. And I feel like you said that you want to turn the comments off, and I think that's a really good decision. Like whatever makes you feel positive and makes you feel much lighter, you should take that step. But I feel with me, I want to make the conscious decision of focusing on the love that I'm getting, because I feel like if I do something like that, if I turn the comments off, I won't be able to actually see the love that I'm getting from people who actually like me. So I think more than doing that, I think I would want to adjust my lens from, you know, just seeing the negative things to actually trying and focusing on the more positive things.
Yeah, it's a good shout. I think actually with me, it's more of a, I feel like, you know, you get to, people, I think you get to a certain age and you're just like an adult and it's fine, and you're easily able to just manage how you feel, and it's easy. But actually, like for me, I'm always learning how I work. And I think you're right in saying it. You know, maybe I am being too severe and just turning off comments, and maybe actually what it is I hate it when, you know, people think that it's arrogant to say this, but I think if you learn to love yourself, then you're able to deal with the criticism better. And I think it's very difficult. Agree with you. It's very hard to get to a position where you're just 100% comfortable in your own skin. And I think that's why, you know, for example, growing up, I had really, really bad acne. And in in a few videos of the band in the early days, you know, I'd see a comment and someone would be like, oh, like James's skin's bad. And I'm like, yeah, my skin is bad. Yeah. And it's like, and just that one thing would like trigger like an insecurity within myself. But actually the solution to that
for me eventually was, yes, I have bad skin, but 80% of teenagers in the UK have difficulties with their skin. I'm not alone. I'm okay with having that. So that comment doesn't affect me. So I think maybe that's what we should be trying to do as well. Obviously, I don't, you know, people that are like trolling people is awful. I don't condone that. But, you know, I think if we do get to a point where we can appreciate ourselves and appreciate others more, then maybe some of these comments won't be hitting quite as hard.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like, because I feel like I'm saying this right now, but I feel like the person that I was maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I wasn't at this comfortable place in my life. Like I've also got a lot of comments about the way that my body is, like, you know, that I'm way too skinny and that I look like a boy and just nasty things. But I feel like I've reached a point in my life where I work out every single day. When I don't feel like working out, I don't work out, but I'm comfortable with my body. I'm comfortable. I love the way I look. And I'm not saying that in like a cocky way or in a condescending way. It's just how I've trained myself into becoming as a person. And I think that is so important. That, like, I really want to send that message out there to young girls and guys that, you know, the most important thing is self-love. I think that's the best reply to give back to haters, because you're going to have such a strong armor that like no one can even like pierce in. And I think it's okay. It takes time to get to that point, but just know that you will reach that point eventually, and then it'll all be worth it. So that's that. So what would you like to say to like the young people listening to you out there?
I think, you know, there's no answer to, the thing is with social media, being the sort of like world that we are, we which is typical of the human race, we invent things without thinking what the potential outcome is going to be. And social media is one of those where it's just got so crazy now. Everybody has it, and it's going to be really hard to regulate. So I think instead of, I mean, you know, it definitely in the UK, we're trying our best to clamp down harder on social media companies to be accountable for allowing harmful content to go on the internet. So that's one thing. But I think also at the same time, we need to realize that it is down to us individuals to try and endeavor to have a safer community online and a more positive community online. And I think especially with what's going on with coronavirus, we're realizing more than ever how important we are to each other. The whole thing of having that human contact, like even just walking up the street with the dog, people say hi to each other now in our street, and they never used to. In London, everyone's always on their phone now. But the last thing we want to do now is be on our phone. We all want to be out there and speak to people. And, you know, I've had so many people smile and wave and stuff. And I think, if there's something to take from this, it is the importance of being, you know, positive and happy and friendly and compassionate to one another. So I think, hopefully moving forward, we'll be able to prioritize sort of what's important in life. And I always say with social media, like, social media should enhance my life. And when it switches and I feel that my life is enhancing my social media, that's where the balance has gone wrong. You know, we have to remember that 90% of the time we should be living our lives, and that 10% should be the social media, but it seems to have swapped recently. So I guess embrace the person that you are. For me, you know, it's a constant battle. I'm always learning how I feel and the sort of person I am, but realizing that actually a lot of people go through a lot of things similar to me. It's fine. Sometimes I wake up, and even after doing all the stuff like these conversations, I wake up and I'm like, I feel a bit rubbish today. That doesn't mean that like the whole year is going to be rubbish. It's just one of those days. And if I accept that and I work through it, and I speak to the other boys in the band and I'm like, I'm having a bit of a rubbish day, boys. It's so much better to do that than to not say anything. And then by the evening, you're still feeling rubbish and you're just like, I think, as you said, like, what would I say? Accept the sort of person that you are, embrace how you feel, and communicate with each other, I guess.
No, I completely agree. And whenever people ask me like, oh, what do you think the world is going to be like when we come out of this and when we step out of this lockdown? But I feel like I'm hoping the world is a more compassionate place. And as you said, people live for each other. They start living for, like, they understand that their actions can really affect other people, and they stop living so selfishly. So I really hope that that's a change that comes about in the world as well. And the thing you said about having bad days, I feel like because we're in this lockdown, I feel like people tend to believe that it's a sort of productivity contest and they have to be doing something every single day because, they're seeing people work out on Instagram or they're seeing people cook something. But I think what people need to realize that there's a pandemic going on. So it's okay to have bad days, to feel low, to feel scared, because it is very scary out there. So I think people just need to understand that what they're feeling is okay, it's justified, and everyone has these feelings, and just to go through that. Like when you're having a bad day, go through the bad day and then it will get better. So, you know, don't feel bad about feeling bad. It's okay to feel bad, and it's okay to feel low, and it's okay to feel whatever you're feeling, you know, because it always changes. Like nothing's, you know, change is the only constant, as they say.
Yeah, I mean, life, as you say, life is a journey.
Yeah, exactly. So was there ever a point where you felt like giving up on music because a lot of you were getting bullied basically on music and your like taste and stuff?
Yeah, so you know, before I knew the band, the Vamps Boys, when I was, you know, what, 13, 14, it was before I had no success, nothing, you know. I think I got about 10 plays on MySpace every day, and that was it. And I thought, you know, the amount of negativity that I was getting from my music, from these guys that were at my school, outweighed the positive. And I was like, if I stopped doing this music, it'd be so much easier because I wouldn't have any of that sort of online stuff. So yeah, I did have that at another point. And then also sort of even after the band was established, so it must have been 2014 time, I was having a really, really negative relationship with food, and sort of struggling with sort of my body shape and stuff, and my attitude towards life in general. And I thought, you know, I completely stopped liking doing music at all. And it wasn't even like around like bullying or anything. I just think it was like a pressure to be that smiley, happy James from the Vamps on stage all the time. And I did feel guilty. You know, there would be comments where it'd be like, oh, James didn't really seem to say anything in that interview, or you know, we do like some of the biggest gigs in the world, and I would be on stage sort of not really enjoying it, and it was at that point that I was like, look, I really need to address this. And it was, you know, as we were just saying before, I wasn't accepting that it was okay to have bad days, or it was okay to feel negative, because everyone around me, you know, thought that I mean, and I had the best job in the world. You know, we played Global Citizen Festival in Mumbai, and like that was 100,000 people, and incredible. But I was, you know, coming out of quite a dark time then. So for me, that was just like another tick on the thing. And I look back now and I'm like, that was one of the best nights of my life. But why was I feeling slightly out of sorts? And it was because I wasn't comfortable with how I was feeling. And it's just funny now looking back how different my life would have been if I'd been able to have that kind of that honesty with how I feel, and being like, look, I need to just make sure that I, you know, as you said, like love myself in a way that I didn't until now. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah.
Funny.
But like, aren't you glad now when you look back? Aren't you happy that you didn't give up, because you wouldn't have reached this point where you are today?
Yeah, like, definitely.
I feel like people need to, you know, when they hear you speak, I think they can be so inspired by the fact that you didn't give up and you've reached this point in your life where, you know, you've overcome all those things. So you're actually an inspiration out there for so many young boys and girls who want to take up music.
Well,
and
so are you.
scared.
I mean, you know, you doing something like this, it's amazing. And it is, you know, people like you. I mean, you have 10 times the sort of like following that I do. So for someone of your level to come out and be vocal about this, it's brilliant. And we are lucky in the UK that more people are speaking about this kind of stuff. And I think it's brilliant that you're able to do that on the other side of the world at the same time as the Vamps doing it in the UK. And it has to be a global thing, because we're all human, we all live on the same planet. And I think it's brilliant that we can, you know, have conversations like this.
Yeah. And I think, as you said, it's also a conscious effort that we all need to take as people. I think, you know, change starts from yourself. So you have to go out there and decide to be a kinder and a more gentle person. And I think that's how change can actually come about, because you really can't control another person's actions. You can't physically go and grab someone's phone and make them stop typing whatever they were going to type. I think you have to consciously decide to be a kinder person who's going to love themselves, who's going to love others. And I think that's where change will really come about.
Absolutely. Yeah. And thank you so much for having me and doing this.
Thank you so much for coming. I think people really enjoyed, and I really hope that this conversation does, you know, inspire people to go out there and just be kinder and better human beings.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure it will. And keep on doing what you're doing. And we'll come to India soon, and we'll hang
You know,
out.
when you guys came and you guys performed, my younger sister, she actually opened for you guys. Like, she
Oh, really?
Yeah, Raisa, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that was your sister. Oh, amazing.
Yeah, and then that's when I saw you guys perform as well.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be coming back hopefully. Who knows now this year, but if not this year, then next year.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Bye.
No worries. See ya.
See you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. I hope you guys liked the conversation and it makes you want to be kinder and sweeter and love yourself. But just stay home, stay safe, and lots of love. Bye.